Hi, I'm Ed Alexander, attorney with Alexander Abramson, and this is part one of our How Much to Pay videos in the Guide to Buying a Business. This is the primary question we hear all the time, and that is, hey, I don't have any clue how to figure out what this business is worth, and I don't want to pay more, and I don't want to lose it by offering less. So our goal here is not to make you a business valuation expert, right? It's to give you enough knowledge so that you can understand this process. And when we look at this, every business is valued based on cash flow and the risk of that cash flow continuing into the future. So if we had a guarantee that the cash flow would continue, then basically all businesses would be valued exactly the same because there'd be no risk. But different businesses have different risks. Small businesses have much, much higher risk than large businesses, and businesses that are new have higher risk than businesses that are older, right? And so when we look at these two factors, we're going to focus right now on cash flow. And so in a small business, the owner can basically transfer the revenue, the income of that business, to different things that may benefit the owner. The example we give is going to the annual convention, and it just maybe happens to be in Hawaii, and staying a little bit before and staying a little bit after, making some extra time out of it. That's paid for by the business, or at least most of it's paid for by the businesses, but yet the owner doesn't have to do that. They could take that money and put it in their pocket. And so we come up with this called seller's discretionary earnings that takes into account these things that an owner can do. They can pull money and push it in different directions. And that is going to look very much like the cash flow that comes out of the business. Now this is for what we call Main Street businesses. These would be smaller businesses maxing out at $1 million or $2 million per year in gross revenue. Beyond that, you're going to get into EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation and amortization, as the estimate of cash flow that's coming out of that business. Now, to get to SDE, we have to go through what's called a recasting of the financial statements. So we take the financial statements of the business, assume they're accurate for doing this, and then we go through and we add back various different things. So if the business pays for the owner's automobile, that gets added back. If the business pays for the owner's health insurance, that gets added back. If the business has the kids on the payroll for no-show jobs, that gets added back. And all these different things, the travel, maybe meals and entertainment, depending on what those constitute, get added back to the net income of the business to arrive at the seller's discretionary earnings. And so that's how we get the cash flow piece, the risk. Now, once we have this, we can say, well, what's the risk of that cash flow continuing into the future? And that is primarily given by value drivers. So if we have a business that is consistently producing income and growing at a reasonable rate, say somewhere between 5 and 10% per year on average, and we see that for 3 or 4 or 5 years, it's been very consistent in terms of income, in terms of growing. It's got a very reasonable number of customers, not super broad and not certainly concentrated in only a few customers. Then what we do is we have value drivers there. We have things that are indicative that the cash flow is going to continue on into the future. In our next video, we'll pick up with broker opinion value and multiplier. Thank you.